The next theory on contemporary theories will be on equity theory. So equity theory states that an individual compares their job inputs and job outcomes with those of others and then respond to eliminate any inequities. So equity means equal. So people tend to have this comparison to compare whether they have equal inputs and outcomes in a particular organization, meaning to say they put certain effort and what is the outcome of that effort, whether it is monetary rewards or non-monetary rewards given by the employer to them. So how do people compare their job inputs and job outcomes? Basically, there are four ways a person compares their inputs and outcome. Number one is self-inside, self-outside, other inside, and other outside. So how does this thing works? So comparison can be made with self or others inside or outside organization. So self inside, an employee's experience in a different position inside his or her organization. Let's say for instance, you are working with Petronas and your current position is manager, and you will compare your manager, compare yourself as a senior manager. So a senior manager will be higher in terms of position. So people tend to do this. So this is what we call self-insight. You compare you as manager currently compared to you are as senior manager in the same organization. Self-insight. The second way to do the comparison is self-outside, meaning to say an employee's experience in a different position outside his or her current organization, meaning to say you are comparing you yourself working in Petronas compared if you are working with Shell, for instance, different position as well. Manager in Petronas, senior manager in Shell, for instance. So people can do this kind of comparison as well. Next will be other insight. An employee's experience with another individuals or group inside his or her current organization. So you're working in Petronas, you are comparing yourself with other people, your colleague, your peers. So you're comparing. So these are some of the ways for you to compare. Number 3. Number 4, others outside. So an employee's experience with another individual or group outside his or her current organization. So you're comparing not to yourself, but you're comparing to others in other organization. Meaning to say, if you're working in Petronas, you're comparing with other person working in Shell, for instance. So these are the ways for you to do what we call comparison. And equity exists when employees perceive that the ratio of their input or effort to their outcome or rewards are equivalent to the ratio of other similar employees, while inequity when exists when the ratio are not equivalent. So when you're comparing self inside, self outside, other inside, and other outside, these four ways for you to do comparison will result into two things, whether the equity exists or inequity. Equity means equal, inequity means it's not equal. What you have put up or what you have done in terms of effort is not equivalent to the outcome or the reward that you think that you can have. So if you have this inequity, what if inequity exists? So responses to this can be in the 6 ways. Alternative to restore equity, meaning to say, how do you make this thing equivalent? So the first one is, you need to change the input. So you need to put in, you yourself need to put in more effort. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to change the outcome. How do you change the outcome? Maybe you come and see the boss. Boss, can you raise up certain bonuses, or can you raise up my salary because I put in more effort than others, but others will have more rewards. So can you level it up? So those are the things that you can do. Outcome. Next, you will change comparison in terms of the person that you compare yourself to. because maybe he or she is better than you. You are not in the same league, so maybe you need to find different reference person that you compare yourself to. Next, you need to change your own perception, so self perception. Maybe it is other people's effort that paid off, you have less effort, etc. So you need to think positive. Maybe it is not time for you to have this kind of rewards, etc. If inequity exists, you can do number 5. You can change the perception of others. Maybe people talk bad about your effort is not enough, and then you ask for more. You need to tell them. You need to change their perception. Maybe he or she does not understand the way things work in terms of effort that you put in. Maybe people don't see your effort as you see it. Last but not least, if thing does not work, you can always quit, because there's no point of staying at the particular organization if you still have this inequity, whereby you put in certain level of effort, input, it is not equivalent to certain outcome or rewards. So you can always go to another organization. So this is basically what equity theory has to do with motivation.